Shalom. Okay, so we finished the first chapter of the Zohar, and we're going on to the next one. And before we do, we're going to learn some of the concepts. So the first concept is the letters, the Hebrew letters. So they are actually the root of the Hebrew letters are in the root in Keter, in crown. Okay, that's the highest source, that's the root of the letters. And there, the Keter, the crown, is hidden and beyond any comprehension. And from there, they come out of the Keter and are revealed. And these are the soul of the Sefirot. The letters, that they're coming from Keter, they're coming from the crown, and they're revealed. They come out of the Keter and then they're revealed, because when they're in the root, in the source, in crown, in the Keter, they're hidden, and you can't understand them. But once they're revealed, you can understand them. And the letters, the Hebrew letters, are the soul of the Sefirot. So each of the Sefirot has, like, the sphere is like a body, and the soul and the letters, the Hebrew letters that correspond to the Sefirot, are like the soul that gives them life. So then, what are the Sefirot? So the Sefirot, we can see how they're laid out over here. And the main Sefirot are Chachma and Chachma, which is wisdom. Bina is understanding. And then we have Tiferet. Now, Tiferet is the name for this sphere, which is beauty or compassion. And it includes, if you want to focus on like the main sphere, it's like one big sphere is all of these six. The Chesed, Gvur, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, which is the loving kind. The Chesed is loving kindness. The Gvur is a strength. The Tiferet is compassion and beauty. Netzach is like victory and eternity. Hod is splendor. Yesod is foundation. So these six are called often, they're all included as Tiferet, as beauty and compassion. Okay? So we have Chachma and Bina, we have wisdom and understanding, then we have Tiferet, and then we have Malchut. Right? Then we have Malchut, which is kingdom. So those are the four main spheres that include the rest of the spheres. Okay? Now, Butsina is a new concept. Butsina is like a light, or like a lantern. Okay? It's something that's shining. So that's Butsina. And sometimes we call the Butsina, we call this lantern, this light, we call it, that's the secret of Gvura, which is strength, which is in Atik. Atik is like the ancient. The ancient is like, depending how you have these spherotes, there's different ways of arranging them, right? So we have what's called Atik, is like the ancient, and when the Atik, which is the ancient, is enclosed in the mind, the hidden mind of Arich Anpin, which means like the long face, like we talked about a lot previously, the small face. So then there's the larger, the taller face. Okay? And so then and from there, the strength of the Gvura is brought to the Bina, to the understanding, in order to measure and the exact amount of light that each one of these spheres below it needs to get. So we just explained, this is what we brought here was an example to explain, and this is called butsina, a lamp or a lantern. And so therefore we see that sometimes the bina is called butsina. The bina is the understanding. Sometimes it's called butsina because of this aspect of receiving the quality of measuring the amount of light coming down to each of the sphere. So it's like measuring the amount of light, like a lantern, or like a something that's shining light in the right amount. Okay, and sometimes we call the keter, which is the crown. Sometimes that's called butsina. So when we say butsina, which means a shining light, emanating light, like a flashlight or like a lantern, right? So sometimes we call the keter, the crown, a butsina, and sometimes we call the bina, the understanding, we call that a butsina. Okay, nitzatzav, we're talking about the sparks. So what is sparks? So any part of light, any smaller part of light that comes out and is brought out from a light that's bigger than it. So let's say we have a light, right? And a little bit of light comes out of it, and we get a little piece of that light. So that's like a spark of light coming out from a greater source of light. So that's a nitzatzav, that's the sparks. Okay, then we have sfirot hane'elamot, which is the hidden sfirot. So what is this called? It's called all the sfirot that are specific, that are inside the mind of the chachma, of the wisdom, and they're rooted in it. So the chachma, the wisdom, has its own set of sfirot. It has chachma, bina, dat. So you have chachma of chachma, right? Bina of chachma. The wisdom has the sphere of wisdom has all the other spheres inside of it, like the wisdom of wisdom, the understanding of wisdom, right? The kindness of wisdom. So those spherot that are in the chachma, in the wisdom, they're rooted in it. So all of these don't have any you can't understand them because they're hidden inside chachma. That means chachma is like the thoughts, the first thought. Like you can't read that, you can't comprehend that until it's revealed, until it's, let's say, it's brought from